Hi everyone, this is Mateo Vigold from TOC Worldwide, and we're here at TOC Africa with Dawit Woubishet, President of the Ethiopian Freight Forwarders and Shipping Agents Association and Chair of FIATA Air Freight Institute. Hi Dawit, thank you for joining us.
How are you? Thank you. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
No, it's been a pleasure. And actually, I was thinking about what you were talking about yesterday in your session, and it was really interesting. However, because I'm a nerd, so I want to know more. So I want to ask you a few more questions to understand a little bit more about, for example, what are the main challenges for shippers, freight forwarders, shipping agents in Africa, and particularly, of course, in Ethiopia?
Thank you. Thank you very much. And actually, there are 3-4 points which is a challenge for African actually, and then when it's particular to come to Ethiopia. And the first one is policy and the government policy, and then because we Africans, having different policy, different type of arrangement, different kind of follow-up, and different kind of interventions actually. So all these kind of things will affect because African were not trading by ourselves, and African are not trading, and then we are landlocked as well, and then we have to use other ports, other relative or other ports which is nearby, around 8 or 9 ports, but currently 95% of our movement is based on depend on Djibouti until we get our own port back. So for the time being, that kind of policy, for example, when it comes to customs, the customs one window arrangement, and then the customs on the other side and the customs on Ethiopia side have to have a link, or they have to do kind of interface in order to make it simpler and then smooth move. And like what the corridor is doing currently, if you see the landlocked countries down to us, like Kenya, Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Mozambique, Zambia, Tanzania, on that corridor. Some ports like Kenya, they have port, Tanzania, they have port, but most of the others like Uganda, Rwanda, all the others, they don't have any port, and then they are landlocked. But since you have smooth corridor development, corridor arrangement, and smooth one window traffic on the customs, they easily move their shipment without any hassle and any broker. So if that kind of things are already on the policy matters is going to elevate it, then we can manage to do things. That's number one. Number two is infrastructure. So infrastructure is a big challenge, because when you do any kind of shipment from A to B, you need the infrastructure on different levels. I mean, road is one part, rail is one part, airline is one part, and there are a lot of movement between this, and then it's kind of a multimodal arrangement has to be there as well, because in order to do a multimodal, in order to make it faster delivery, faster movement, we need some kind of 2 or 3 at least arrangements to be fulfilled. But when it comes to Ethiopia, when it comes to the African countries, this kind of things is a big challenge for all of us. So this kind of infrastructure, it needs finance, and also access to finance also one of the big challenge for that, because for example now Ethiopia having a train, and that train is moving from Mojo to Djibouti. So we are only having one line. And then the line also is not that much speedy, and then the transit corridors are very limited. So for that reason, we have to increase that. We have to have another second line, because the Ethiopian population is 130 million. It's going to increase up to 150 million in the next few years.
It's not going to be able to cope.
And then also Ethiopia is the fastest growing country on that corridor. And then we need movement to come. So every year there is a kind of up and down of 20% increase on all kind of export and all kind of import as well. So for that, we have to make ready. We have to do some kind of arrangement, investment for that. Access to finance is one of the challenge as well. And the other one as well is a kind of know-how. I mean, the people, capacity building. And when it comes to the industry, I mean, there is no as such compliant, or there is no as such people who are already knowing the logistics sector very well. So because of that, logistics by its own, it has its own language, it has its own arrangement, it has its own wording, it has its own capacity and capability in order to do anything in a proper way. So for that, we need to have on a capacity in another building. So this kind of things has to be done through training, through other project, through visiting, networking, and some kind of stuff in order to attract, in order to do this kind of things as well. So for that reason, we have to do something, and also adaptation of technology and digitalization. So as you know, the world are coming to digital, or they're coming into technology. So we have to do as per that technology, or as per the digital what it requires in order to cope up the movement and then the transit corridors, because all other countries are now they are now paperless, and then we have to adapt that, and then we have to be together in order to seamless transit, and then fast moving as well, which we can at the end of the day adding the customer to use as much as possible. Last but not least, we have to focus on the e-commerce nowadays. E-commerce is one of the big platforms already organized. I mean, it is $9 billion project all over the world, but Africa, if you see it, we are very small. We didn't connect it, of course, the banking sector, all the other logistics, infrastructure, airline, everybody has to work together in order to manage this kind of business. We are working on that, but we have to be there, and then we have to do it as much as possible in order to get Africa what we want to get from her.
Yeah, I think the key word that I'm guessing that I'm thinking about here, that was also mentioned in your session yesterday, is collaboration.
True.
A collaboration between the states in Africa with harmonizing policy, I'm guessing for customs, collaboration for maybe get joint ventures for infrastructure, investment,
PPP investment as well.
implementation of technologies, fostering and nurturing talent, and adapting to the new e-commerce trends. And how do you think that, for example, in the case of the Ethiopian freight forwarders and shipping agents association, that's a long name, but I like it. How are you guys sort of like advocating to overcome these challenges?
Yeah, actually, Ethiopian Freight Forwarders and Shipping Agent Association already formed in 1998 with the whole idea of 3 major pillars, but we add now another pillars as well. So now currently we are working on 4 pillars. The first pillar is advocacy. Advocacy means advocacy to the government, advocacy to all other practices in neighboring countries, and the relationship between us, and then how we can work, how we can make it easy, the logistics sector, in order to move cargo from A to B. So that's what we were going to do. And then there are rules and regulations, there are policies and anything. Thanks to the new government now, what we have is they will, whenever they are having any policy, they will advise us, and then before it is already on. So we will do that, and then we will amend, or if there are any comments, we will try to comment, and then on that kind of debate, and then we will explain to them exactly what it is. And then it's good that we are having a very close relationship with them, and which we can do everything in a positive manner. The second one is networking, and then on the networking, there are so many events of logistics. As you know, it is a dynamic sector where we are in. So everything is changed, everything, especially safety and security. If you come to the digital, if you come to container handling, there are a lot of things are already changing. So for that, we can adapt by doing, attending so many events and conferences, which we can get some kind of information. Once I get that information, once my colleagues are getting that kind of information, we can go back and then relate to our association members in order to get that kind of technology, naming it whatever, because normally when we do any kind of logistics, it must be A and B, and without A we're not going to be B, without B we're not going to get. So for that reason, the relationship has to be over there, and then we have to do it. The third one, the major one, what we do is on training, because we have been engaged with FIATA, and I'm also working for them. And with FIATA also, there are accredited trainings and training documents. For example, FIATA Diploma Program, FIATA Advanced Diploma Program on Supply Chain Management. So we have been doing that training, bringing to Ethiopia and giving to our logisticians, not to the logisticians as well, to the industry leaders, to the university dean lecturers, and to the minister level as well.
Of course.
Because, we are being given this, and then everybody was happy in order to adapt the new technology, to adapt a new form, a new norm, and where are we and where are the worlders? The world is in performing. So that kind of things also very important, and that's what we do. And luckily, by 2027, for their 101st anniversary, the FIATA Congress is going to come to Ethiopia.
Oh, nice.
Which, we are going to expect around 2,000 people to come.
Wow.
And it's going to be one of the best events in Africa, because it's only the third time we get this chance after the 100 years. So we are very happy to do, and then Ethiopia can do. We can
amazing.
that Addis Ababa, what it looks like now, and then how we can manage it and how we can do the events successfully. So I'm happy to get engaged on that as well. And the fourth one is research and development.
Okay.
On the research and development, our team, we do some kind of research on the volatility of the logistics sector and different aspects. Logistics nowadays, it's changing. So the green logistics is coming, urban logistics is coming, all kind of new logistic systems are coming. So we have to adapt first, and then we have to study, and we will bring it to customized to our own model, and then we can share this to our partners, our members, and then we can adapt this kind of business. So these are the four things what we are doing in Ethiopia when it comes to EFFSAA.
No, that's really interesting, and I see something in common in all these four pillars. Policy, advising, networking, training, research and development. They are all linked to the human element and the people working in the sector, because regardless of whatever technology we are implementing now, whether it's AI or blockchain or etc., without proper training and proper talent managing this, you will only go this far. So I think that's a really nice approach. I hope I can make it to the FIATA event in Ethiopia. And
you are invited.
Thank you. And I would love to finish this interview by asking you a question. Bearing all of this in mind, and also you just mentioned that Ethiopia is a very fast-growing country, and in general, Africa, it's the region with the fastest growing population rates. So we are going to have very larger consumer markets in the foreseeable future. How do you envision? Let's just imagine we have a crystal ball. How do you think that production lines or manufacturing processes, factories might evolve in Africa? Do you see any specific countries that might become sort of like factories for the region, similar to what China was during the 20th century?
Yeah, it's a very good question. Actually, as you know that an EFFSAA is going to come soon, but some parts of the African countries it's already started last July. So this have to be developed, because Africans are more than 55 states already. I mean, all of them, they are having a large of export. We are majorly exporters, but we have to do not the raw export, but we have to focus on value addition. So we have to add some kind of value, and then we have to export it. But as you know that because of tariffs, because of all other many challenges around the world, I mean, if Africa trade by itself, trade inside, because we are 1.5 billion people already. So what we have, and then South Africa don't have, what South Africa have, maybe Nigeria don't have, and then so if we are trusted enough, collaborative enough, and then doing it exactly, knowing each other. I mean, by, like I said, by networking, name it, whatever. So we, as an African, EFFSAA can bring something good for, because, imagine if I want to go to Djibouti now, I need a visa to go there. Why? Because, it didn't give sense.
It's an obstacle.
Yeah, so one of the obstacles, one of the things which is lowering the business transactions, what we are going to do. So all Africans, we can trade ourselves, we can go by ourselves, we can negotiate ourselves, and then we can do a kind of networking. Sometimes it's going to be easy to go from A to B, from B to C. For example, a very good example is about our airline. I mean, the flag carrier, which Ethiopia is covering almost 54 destinations in Africa, one of the largest and the biggest, awarded 8 times in Africa consecutively, being the #1 airline. So this airline, they are moving forward for the e-commerce platform operation. So Ethiopia now in Addis Ababa, they build e-commerce platform or e-commerce hub, which can sort around 1 million postal services in a day. And so on this kind of facility, if any shipment coming from abroad or coming from Africa and going out outside, it will be one of the ideal location where we can sort the shipment, when we can facilitate the e-commerce platform and sending it to Africa or bringing it to Africa as well. So this kind of platform is a first in kind. It's already built there. So if we Africans know exactly what it is, and if we introduce for the other world where the shipment is coming from, Ethiopia is going to be an ideal, because one, the airline is there, the hub is there. So we want a kind of a mentality that we are going to build a hub in Africa, one of the hub in Ethiopia, which we can give service to all African countries, and then also to board as well. This is not only on cargo, but on passenger as well, which Ethiopian Airlines is doing very well on that. So that kind of things has to be developed in several areas, and several kind of projects, which can enhance Ethiopian, not only Ethiopian, Africans can trade itself. So that is the most important thing what we have to do.
Yeah, I think definitely collaboration, trust, you've mentioned it, taking advantage and capitalizing on the strengths that you already have, like you have just described. So yeah, it looks like there is a lot of work to do, but it's exciting work, and I think the future is very bright. And yeah, thank you, Dawit, so much for your answering my questions and for joining us. And everyone, that was it. That was a quick interview with Dawit Woubishet from the Ethiopian Freight Forwarders and Shipping Agents Association. So if you want to get in touch, just drop us an email and we'll put you in touch with Dawit. Thank you so much, and see you at the next TOC Africa.